Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I call the library scholarship meeting to order at 4:09 PM. Okay, are we ready to start? All right, does anyone want to make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 4th meeting? Or the May
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the
13th
eight,
meeting?
I think it was April 13th meeting.
Right,
Yes.
okay.
A
I don't know if
second?
there's- I don't know if there's anyone to second it, right?
Can Judy second it?
Sure, I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passed, we're all set. Okay, so we had an interesting discussion about the future of the scholarship at the last meeting. And we had to continue now to see what we're going to do to proceed in the future, and if the so that we'll be able to report back to the meeting at the end of the month. Okay. So we have to decide. I think there are three possibilities that we have to follow right now. We can continue the scholarship until the money runs out. And we have about $3,000 in the scholarship fund now. So that is something we could do. We could keep the scholarship, but we'd have to fundraise for the scholarship, separate from other fundraisers. That would have to be something that we would have to do. And the other thing would be to end the scholarship now. We didn't have one this year, and to move the funds into the general fund. So are there any suggestions or any comments about these three things? Did Mary get in yet? No, okay.
No, I think she must still be struggling. Megan, a quick question for you. The encumbered balance for our scholarship is $3,350,
Right.
and the balance is $5,444. So what actually, how much money do we actually have to give away?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have to talk to Tia because I pulled up the library board of directors account today and ran a report on scholarship. And it looks like in 2017, money was deducted from the LBOD account for scholarships, but money from scholarship wasn't transferred over. So when you run the report, it shows there's only $2,350 left.
$2,350?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tia, one of the things that I'm supposed to work on with the treasurer this year is cleaning up the Quicken accounts. So I had started working on it, and that's when I came across the discrepancy in the scholarship account. So we transferred over in November of 2018, $7,350. Prior to that, we hadn't transferred over funds to cover $3,000 worth of scholarships. So those were not deducted from the account, the 5,000 that you're referring to. That's why after running the report, it shows 2,350.
Okay, so we don't have $5,000 like we thought at one point to spend last month. So this is better to know what we deal with. Okay.
Well, I think last meeting we talked about maybe allocating the funds that are left for something that we thought could benefit more than just one person.
I'd like to comment on that since I couldn't attend the last meeting.
Okay.
Then it's not scholarship money, and it's not the responsibility of the scholarship committee.
Right,
Now,
we realized that.
Yeah, the library and through the fund, the friends and donations already provides what is it? Scholarship, programming on filling out college applications, writing college essays. We have programs working with, oh, hold on.
That's me, Megan.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
So we already are running, we already are running. Mary, I'm gonna have to remove one of your accounts. Okay, so. Am I still echoing for everybody else?
No,
Okay,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
all right, Mary,
Is that me doing?
yeah, because you have two Zoom accounts open right now.
All right, and that's Mary Spain calling.
Oh, under your name, then you need to mute one of them. So when I say mute though, I mean turn off the speaker.
Hi, Mary.
Is that better? Okay,
That was awfully Star Wars.
everybody's muted now.
Everybody.
So if you can unmute if you're not Mary. So my feeling is that allocating the funds, then that becomes library board of director programming, which we don't do. And then that creates a whole other area that programming funds have to come out of. And now we're getting into some operational activities, which is not the responsibility of the board. No, you have 10 minutes left. Thoughts?
Okay. That's fine. That makes sense. Makes sense. So, then we just have to decide, I guess, the big question is keep the scholarship or don't keep the scholarship.
Right.
And not, so just if we don't keep the scholarship, what happens to that money?
The money would go right into the general fund for the library board of directors, and it can be used for special projects that the board does during the year. Like we haven't had any due to COVID, but there will be some again. So anytime the library does a community-based program, that's usually paid for by the board of directors. So like the Sealy House anniversary, that was funded by the board of directors. Some of the project lab equipment was funded by the board of directors. It's the same things that like the mini golf and the wine tasting paid for.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right, well, I guess, what are your opinions then about keeping it or not keeping it, like other people on the committee? We don't have Mary Spain, so she's been the most involved with it.
Right. Well, Mary, and I have been on the scholarship committee for a few years now. And I guess what I would like to say is maybe because we didn't have a scholarship this year, that perhaps this would be a good time to stop it, but part of me, is always, I liked having the scholarship and, giving it out, but I would think if we're going to, this might, because I don't see us actively having another fundraiser. If we do the mini golf, then the way I understood it, we couldn't use some of that money for scholarship.
No, Judy, you just have to tell people that when you fundraise. So if you fundraise for the mini golf, you just have to make sure people know their donations also go towards a scholarship.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't really, yeah. So. that's
So,
fine.
yeah. So I think I don't really want to give my opinion too much because I'm brand new on this committee. And so I feel like if I'm the one saying what I think and no one else is really saying what they think, I kind of feel like I'm coming in like a big bully. So that's not
No,
my,
no, we
my-
don't, I don't feel that way, Robin.
But
so,
just, Rob, remember
look
you
at
are a
it from-
representative of the board, so.
well, that's true. I am. And I also am on the development committee. So I guess if you want my opinion, since no one else, I mean, Jan can't give an opinion here, and I think we heard Judy's, and I don't think Mary can give an opinion, and Mary Spain is listening on Mary's phone there. I think that we have such a hard time getting money from, um, the town budget as far as, people not wanting to spend the extra tax dollars. So we try to keep our budget for the library as absolutely low as possible. And then fundraising is tough, and we don't want to come off greedy with our fundraising. And we, people, I think, especially in the next couple of years, post COVID, are going to be bombarded all of a sudden because no organizations have had fundraising events in the last year, or minimal, I guess.
Mhm.
That I think that the money could probably be better spent elsewhere than to just help one family. I know I said it in our last meeting. I don't think $1,000 is that much, with the cost of college being what it is, that it's even like a huge help to any one family. So my opinion would be to use the money in other ways. So that's that.
Okay. And I see your point. I know it would be, it's going to be difficult to raise funds. We don't know how long. I mean, right now, COVID seems to be waning in Connecticut anyway, but you don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. So, and as I said before, if we are, and since we only maybe have $2,000 now, is what you said, Megan, right?
Mhm.
A little over 2,000. That would really only pay for 2 more years. I mean, are we, maybe we need to, as I said, maybe we need to end it now.
Well, and this is just our recommendation to the board, right? They ultimately have the final say. So, I mean, that's what I think the recommendation should be. We're the only two talking, so.
Mary O'Leary, does Mary Spain have anything she wants to add? Oh, Mary, you're also muted.
Plum Trees started it years ago from the Apple Blossom Festival, and it's something people might expect, but we're in a different time now, and whatever you guys recommend, I'm with, all right?
Okay,
Even though I'm putting in my password again.
Well, I have to leave in 2 minutes, so don't make yourself too crazy.
Mhm.
Can we get any opinion from the Friends of the Library?
Right, because Jan had mentioned, you had mentioned that.
I think given the small amount of money that you have now, the Friends, I don't think would be willing to give as much money as you might need to make up, for instance, the 300 to make up to another 1,000, but that would still only give you 3 years.
Right.
So Megan, how could we, if this committee recommends that we dissolve the scholarship program, the 2,000, what was it?
2,350.
Yeah, I wrote it down here. how can we move that to another account and justify that?
You don't need to move it to another account because the board made the decision back in November of 2000 or prior to 2018 to close the scholarship account because there was no activity in it. So the money had already been transferred to the library board of directors account. We only encumber it. So it's merely a line in our accounting. So the money could be re-encumbered for something else, or it could be left in the general fund until another project is deemed worthy of the encumbrance. So we
So
don't
it does-
actually have to move anything.
It does not have to be used for a scholarship.
Not
No.
to my knowledge, unless there was a stipulation made previously. But for what I'm looking at, it looks like the money is library board of directors funds.
Okay, so we could dissolve the scholarship per se, and we would have no commitment to give any of this money to a scholarship.
I don't know of any commitment. I don't have records going back to the date that the money was given by Apple Blossom.
Well, I really
So-
think the Apple Blossom money must be gone
Gone by
if we're
now.
down to
Yeah,
$2,000. And I think
Well,
that $2,000 must be from our wine tasting, because didn't we commit $1,000 to scholarship from the wine money?
Yeah, we did, I think.
Or at
And
least,
also,
or 2,000?
Did Dr. Volpentessa give anything to the library? Some people give specifically to the library.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be scholarship money, Mary. That would be just library board of directors money.
That actually goes into
Okay.
library operations.
Correct, yeah. So I guess my question is, technically, can we not do a scholarship and all of this money can just stay in the board of directors account for future use?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay,
That sounds like a
Would
good
that
idea.
be, would that be encumbered so we would vote again on something? Or would it just be used for whatever I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is there some way to encumber that $2,000 and then vote on when it's being used for the activity that the board is doing?
No, because the board decides encumbrances annually anyway. So each year, typically, the board looks at assessing the encumbrances and makes alterations as needed.
Right.
So I don't think that's something, I think at this point, the scholarship committee just needs to decide, are we going to have a scholarship or not? And if we're not, are we going to terminate it now, or are we going to wait till the funds run out? As to what happens to the funds, that's not a recommendation of the scholarship committee.
Okay.
That would be done by the board in conjunction with the treasurer.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. All right.
so am I hearing from this committee, because I know we've got time limitations here.
I really
I-
have fun. So let's,
Mm.
if we can wrap it up, then that's great. Otherwise,
Well, Robin, why don't you make a motion or make a motion to make a recommendation to the board?
okay. I will make a motion to make a recommendation to the board that we abolish, is that the right word? Abolish the scholarship as of now from our fundraising efforts. So is that,
Well, our fundraising efforts were never for the scholarship committee.
okay.
So
So I would just say that we abolish the scholarship as it stands.
Okay. And I'll second it. So it's to abolish the scholarship and transfer, do we have to say and transfer the money to?
no, because the money's already in the library board of directors account.
Okay. So we're just going to, well, I'm going to get up at the meeting and say that that's our recommendation to abolish this, excuse me, abolish the scholarship. Right?
Right.
Mary, you're in favor of that too, so that it's unanimous?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine, yeah.
All right.
So
all
that
in
would be a
favor?
committee
I-
recommendation.
Forgive me for this mess, yeah. But I could hear everything fine, and I heard the reasons, and I think it makes sense.
Good.
Because of what's going on in the world, in our country, and in our town right now, you know?
Mhm.
Right.
Good.
We
Mhm.
hear
Well,
you
it's a
too,
committee
Renee.
recommendation to abolish the scholarship. Is that the right word, abolish?
I don't like the word abolish.
Yeah.
I don't love it either.
No,
Discontinue, discontinue.
there we go.
Continue, that's, yeah. Abolish has too much of a legal term to it, I think.
It sounds like the slavery.
Abolish.
Okay, so now that we have that, so Robin, you made the motion.
And I
Judy
seconded it.
it. All in favor? Does anybody
Aye.
want to, do we need a next meeting? Yes or no?
No.
I guess that depends on what happens at the board meeting, like
So we'll
if,
say to be determined.
okay,
All right,
Yeah,
do I have
if
a
I don't
motion?
agree, we'll be in trouble, but,
okay.
we can have another meeting after that, yeah.
All right,
Right.
so I'm gonna make a motion to, what's the word, end this meeting.
Discontinue.
No.
No, no, no.
End the meeting?
End the meeting.
Yeah.
So I can go get my
No,
dog.
but
Do we have a second?
Oh, I'll second it. That's fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
All right,
All right.
then, Judy, I'll send you the minutes to approve.
you.
And we are all set.
All right, bye, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
It was late.
Boy, that's the way to
Have a
run a
good
meeting.
one.
hey, Mary, I